1930 something.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
and not only, I mean, yes, of course, you don't
it's
get
very,
much better, but
you know, it's a very important story in the background. I've never introduced myself as a descendant of, because we're talking about jewelry. I bring it up. It's in the back of my story. But it's something that I have the utmost respect for, and I'm thriving to. Because if you say that, then it's very important to execute the same way he and everybody that worked with him would execute jewelry and select the stones. Legacy. It's important to have a utmost respect for that name.
Okay, well, this would, speaking of that amazing gentleman, this would be something you would see right there in the storefront window for thousands and, well, excuse me, tens of thousands of dollars. Are you kidding? This is created, Emrld, flawlessly and flawlessly designed in that true Jean Dousset, you know, all of his amazing, beautiful little touches that sets it apart from any other piece. And we're offering this birthday priced at $99.90. So $20 savings, 4 flex pays. It looks like that's for this hour only. Okay, who said this is what every Emrld in the entire world wishes it could look like? I mean, flawless. Everything about it. Consistency in the color, and then the flawless setting and design around it. Tell us about this, because this is brand new. We love your Emrlds. Right now I have 5 through 10, but I can't imagine it lasting very long.
I like when the rings can actually stand the zoom of a camera, and the color is coming through. With the same thing that we were discussing a little bit earlier with rubies and yellow diamonds. The Emrld color has to be intense. The garden has to be translucent. It has to be green. It has to have nothing inside. That's a perfect Colombian Emrld. That very color. You couldn't hope for anything better. So when you are looking at stones in the genuine world, and the emeralds come in every form, in every tones of color, darker, lighter, opaque, with a lot of garden, a lot of cloud. But when you can hit that tone, that perfect green tone. And I love those cushions because they play up the light so well.
Yes, and you were talking, just for those who are tuning in for the first time, the importance of cushion, whether it be not just in diamonds, but also in any type of gemstone, right? Yeah. The popularity.
And cushion was probably the first cut that we've ever really mastered. You know, the stones started with only just a few facets. And as we understood them more, as we understood how to bring the light and the color out of them, then that's when we progressed and we made stone even more brilliant, the same way that we do today. But the color, the same thing, the lapidary has to look at a rough, and he has to know, understand where and how he's going to cut that stone to bring out that color. You give this to somebody else, he doesn't necessarily cut the stone the same way, and the stone doesn't look as vibrant and as green, as an intense and deep as that ring does. So the rest of the mounting is, I really like, because it's this cushion that really floats and lays so well and so gently on your finger, with a size of absolute that's bigger than usual, a little bit bigger than that pavé look, less stones, a little bit larger, to give more importance to the extraordinary center stone. Because the center stone is what we're focusing on. The rest of the mounting is serving the center stone.
Sure.
We have found this stone. Remember, we've traveled far and away.
Yes.
We've unearthed a very special stone, or we bought it from a dealer in Colombia, wherever those travel would take you, and then you're bringing that stone to your workshop, then you create a ring based on that stone, and that piece becomes one of a kind because that stone is one of a kind. So it's very much so the experience that I would like you to have with your jewelry, that it was thought and imagined that way, not as one of 100 rings that we're selling on HSN, but the history, the philosophy behind the ring is exactly that. Long travels, journeys to find the rarest and finest of gemstones.
And that's exactly the experience that we're bringing to you in this hour. That emerald in the center would equate to a 10-carat flawless emerald. So May gals out there, I mean, we know that the precious emerald is certainly one of the most difficult colors to achieve in that consistency, that depth that we love, like you're seeing in here, not to mention how expensive just maybe a quarter carat of an emerald, a natural emerald, will be. This is perfection at its finest. It's beautifully, we often talk too, as a designer, because you're not just representing these pieces, you design these pieces. Balance is very important. I remember you talking about that in your training. And
yes,
right.
My buyer is begging me to take less time, because I'm so, like, we draw, then we sample, then I look at the sample, and I make changes on the drawings, on the samples, to get everything right. Jewelry is a very small medium, so every 0.5 of a millimeter count. That's the difference between a ring that looks heavy or light. You'd be surprised. You make a band 3 millimeter instead of 2 millimeter, and then the ring doesn't look quite as right.
Crazy,
so you
right?
have to work and think of a lot of different elements for everything to come together. What I really like about this particular mounting is that we have heavier stones all the way around the emerald, a little less pavé, so there's a lot of brilliance, a lot of scintillation that goes around.
And brings out the best of that focal point,
yes.
Which of course is that gorgeous 10-carat, flawless, beautiful emerald that is consistent from, I mean, and even the facets in it and the evenness of that color. You just don't find that. Even in our collection, I mean, honestly, you can go on hsn.com, and we have fabulous jewelry brands here. You very rarely, I mean, only Jean brings to us these kind of pieces. You know, the flawless created stones like the Podparacha we just saw, like this 10-carat emerald that's on its way. We're counting backwards at this point, getting limited in all sizes, 5 through 10. 4 flex pays expires in less than an hour from right now.